How's it going, folks? This is Jack coming from the future, at least compared to the Jack that you're about to hear. Yes, it's a special day, everyone. It's a double upload day. But before you go hovering over and clicking the like button, which of course you were going to do anyway, there is no like target on this video. I know sometimes with these double upload days I do that. It doesn't really feel necessary to do it today. I want to bring you guys two episodes. This first video that you're about to watch now was recorded ahead of the announcement on Friday that football across the UK had been cancelled. That's what I usually plan my uploads around, just because I have to... The way YouTube works is you want as many people to watch it right away as you can, so if you upload at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, most people are watching football or doing football stuff. Obviously, there is a big void in everyone's lives right now, and that is kind of sport and social gatherings, and, you know, across the world we're experiencing it. I want to sprinkle that little bit of joy, give you something to look forward to. So double upload today. There will be a second video up a little bit later. May even try and get another double upload day tomorrow. That might be a bit ambitious, but we'll see what we can do. Obviously, I do hope you enjoy the episode. If you do leave that like on it. It's a huge cup final. And, well, run the intro, Jack, and let's do this. What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 67 of Park to Prem here with Towel or Town. Today, it's a big day. It's the EFL Trophy Final against Colchester. Now, between our two sides, in the last 10 matches, there's been 2 wins. So, it's not exactly 2 teams coming in red hot in form. As well as that, today, we've got a youth intake to go through. A load of new players who are going to be joining in the not-so-distant future, and a few in the distant future as well as free league games. So there's lots of stuff to get into today, and it's all very exciting. We've got one very good player in our intake who we're going to definitely take a look at today. But before we do get too head-deep into this, head-deep, is that a thing? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, let me know. I just want to mention my Patreon page, because I've had a few people mention recently, hey Jack, do you have a Patreon? You don't mention it enough. You know, there's been all kinds of different people mentioning it. It's always in the description of videos and always in the end credits. But if you do watch the stuff here on the channel, if you do want to help support the channel, you know, it's greatly appreciated, the support on Patreon. I think in the last kind of couple of months, we've had about 20 new supporters. It's been really cool to see. And I'm really happy that so many people are enjoying the series. Additionally, I do want to just take 1 second to mention a huge thank you, and this is a thank you to anyone who has come back, because I was very worried after I was ill with my kind of infection in my lung, that maybe people were going to have found something else to watch in their lunch breaks, we're going to have found something else to do with their lives, and yet, here we are, and people are still coming back again and again and again, and watching Towel, which is absolutely awesome. Anyway, enough rambling. We've got to talk about this. I know someone stared at it. Maybe you didn't even hear what I've said for the last minute and a bit because you were too busy staring at this. Yes, in the progress of a board takeover, it's happening again. I get the impression that Alex just doesn't like Towel. Apparently, it's not to be believed, but who the hell knows? This is the second time since Alex, our tycoon takeover, bought the club that we've been linked with another kind of potential chairman. He's not been a great tycoon for us, and the fact he's like already kind of trying to sell the club, less than 3 years he's been at the club, and already he's trying to offload us. That's just not cricket, Alex. I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, worth keeping an eye on for now. It's just a rumour in a singular news inbox item. It could snowball into something much bigger, of course. Anyway, since you were last here, 3 games to get through. We're going to go through these super rapid fire. So first and foremost, we took on Ebbsfleet. We beat them 2-1. Good little performance this one. Dimitri Sayer with the first goal for us, a header at the back post. CC then turning on the afterburners, using that blistering pace from centre attack in mid. And, well, unfortunately, we couldn't keep a clean sheet. We conceded in the 93rd minute. It was merely a consolation for Ebbsfleet, but 2-1 it finished. And while following on from that, a game against Ipswich Town, a game which, well, if you look at the stats in the bottom left, you will notice we absolutely dominated, and yet we lost 1-0. It was one of those days, everyone. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but not exactly ideal. And, well, in our third game in this quick run through, we took on Bristol Rovers. A 1-0 win in this one. Kosic with the goal for us in the 45th minute. The youngster getting on the score sheet again and looking very good. A lot of you guys expressed in the comments of the last couple of episodes just how good you think this guy is. The fact I need to just give him as much first-team football as possible. I 100% agree. You can see here potential to be a Premier League right winger in the future. He has been top draw for us. And he's definitely part of a generation of players who I just can't wait to see play for the club. And hopefully, we're not going to be stuck in the same situation we were stuck in with Smoljo, where we felt like we had to sell him. I'm hoping that some of these really exciting players we're going to be able to keep hold of. I have mentioned the youth intake. We'll cover that in a second, because I feel like it's worth just giving a little update on Shvetsov, who I need a work permit for. I've applied for one again, and it got thrown out again. I don't think he's going to get one. I've tried loaning him out to a Spanish club in January. No one was interested. Yeah, I need him to get a work permit somehow or some way. He looks absolutely incredible. Consistent performer, Premier League potential, currently a League One player. He's only 18. He would be ideal, but unfortunately he's not available for us yet. But yeah, you can see a little update here. Declining in some areas, improving in others. The bottom line is, if he was in the first team, I feel like we would be comfortably in the automatic promotion spots, but that's not the way things work here. Anyway, I've teased it long enough. Let's discuss our youth intake. And well, if we just sort by potential here, all the players with dashes, with the exception of Dessa, who is on trial, are players who have joined us as part of our youth intake this year. We've had a very, very good generation. So let's have a look through them. The first player, Darren Byrd. Interesting player. You can see naturally a striker. I'm really not sure what his best position is. He's quite a well-rounded player. A bit of a jack-of-all-trades, master of none, perhaps, if we just look here. I'm currently training him to play as an inverted winger on attack. I feel like that would make the most of, his well-roundedness and an additional focus just on his strength. I'd like my wingers to have a little bit of strength. He's doing okay so far. Not the most exciting of the bunch, but with 5-star potential, at least right now, we're going to keep an eye on him. The next player, we have another 5-star potential player, Artem Koval. Now, if we look at his information here, born and raised in Kiev, came to England, doesn't have Ukrainian nationality, which is a little weird. Joined us this year, of course, as a youth intake player. Looks very good, lacks a little bit of a communication. He's one of those players where he looks good, has some very good potential, but his current ability, it's not quite doing it for me. He's going to have to improve a lot, and that's not to say he can't do that. But, he's not going to make a splash immediately in the first team. Just a little update on Mr. Dessa, by the way, the right back. He's joining us next December is when he turns 18. I forgot we signed this guy when he was 15. He looks so good. Of course, he's on trial at the club at the moment. I feel like we're going to end up playing him as a right wing back. That's definitely what the Polygon is screaming out to me with him. But he looks very, very good, doesn't he? But he's not the biggest player of the bunch, and neither is Nick Fever. That's probably not how you say his name. I've had too much fun with that. He's a centre-back who can't run, doesn't really have great physicals. In fact, his physicals on the whole are pretty potato. If anything, I would say that balance and natural fitness are the two that I would not care too much about for a centre-back. But he's got some potential. That's the current ability. But if he was to blossom, we wouldn't complain. But he's not the player I'm bigging up. We're getting there. In fact, he's the next player. So this is the man I have high hopes for. So brace yourself. Get comfortable in your seat. Dylan Turnbull, ladies and gentlemen. Let's introduce him to you. Wow. Now, he might only have 4.5-star potential. I'm hoping that this is, a bit of a red herring and he's going to improve beyond that. If we look at his potential, could improve a lot in the future. His current ability is the best of this year's intake, although his potential's lacking a little. But he's got incredible consistency. His physicals are top draw. 20 aggression. I love it. He can jump, which is great. Has good heading, so good in the air. And decent dribbling. First touch, not the greatest. But I feel like he's got the makings of a really, really good player. Not bad personality either, being fairly ambitious. His determination is solid. This is the man I'm most excited about. Keep an eye out for him. I do need to give a little shout out to one more player. A player who was part of an intake last year. And I feel like I talked about him, but I didn't really big him up. And it's this guy, Dale Brodie Gate. I had to give him a new contract on £1,500, folks, because Blackburn made an offer of £500,000 and Alexander, the chairman, just went and accepted it. Behind my back, I said, hang on a minute, can we not sell him, please? Alexander came back and said, nope, we want the money for him. So I went and kind of crawled to Dale and was like, Dale, how much do I have to give you for you to just sign a new contract at the club? I don't want to lose you. I know we've had a bit of acceptance stuff, but just stay here. We'll give you a new deal. And, you can see here, He's at the club. We've had to pay him a lot of money, but homegrown at Towler. I think he's even born in Towler, if I'm not mistaken. Look at that. We couldn't lose him, could we? But he does look very, very good, the centre mid. And his improvement in the last year, I mean, look at that. That is mental. Genuinely some of the most crazy development I have seen in a player. I feel like I went very high pitch there, but that's just how excited I am, everyone, by this guy. If we just look in box-to-box midfielder, some of it's just inhumane. His balance went from 14 to 15 in a month. I love it. Yeah, keep an eye out for him. He has the potential. This is what I'm hoping will happen to all those other players we have with potential but lacking the current ability. Will they follow in Dale's footsteps? Can Dale continue to improve? Tune in like 5 seasons and find out if he's an England international or not, I guess. Of course, as a reminder, if we just look at our facilities, we have got exceptional youth recruitment and exceptional academy coaching, so we should be getting quite good intakes here. Obviously, that is one of the things that we really were able to push forward and upgrade during our time here at Towler so far. And I do feel like we're starting to reap the benefits of that. And I don't know if this is for certain, but I feel like, as you guys know, we got put in the Southern League for a year due to a bug where Towler wasn't assigned, I think, a region in Football Manager, although I'm not entirely sure. I think that might impact us getting some better players through because we're not assigned to a specific geographical area. If you're a smaller club, say, based in Manchester, I believe that, say, Manchester City and Manchester United would like hoover up the better players, so you're less likely to get really good youth intakes. Whereas where we are in Durham, there's teams around us, but no one immediately in our vicinity, so we get good youth intakes. Not 100% sure on that. I might be talking rubbish. I hope I'm not. Please let me know. Anyway, we've got more signings to talk about. I'm going to rapid fire through these because we'll talk more about them when they join. But Michel Roof is joining us at the end of the year. We've signed him on a freebie from Aberdeen. Really good signing on £1,500 a week. 25 years old. Really, really well-rounded player. Can play centre attacking mid and striker. I like the look of him a lot. I feel like he's a bit underrated by our current staff. I mean, if we just compare him to, I guess, Sayer or C. I've still not decided how to say his name. I mean, when you compare the two here, not a great deal between them. So to get him on a free transfer, I think is very, very good, especially on only £1,500 a week. Anyway, more players to fire through here. First player, Gerardo Bravo. I was having a look through what our scouts were suggesting. I stumbled across the 3rd tier of Spain, and this team with a Batman logo had this guy. He looks quite good, potential a little bit questionable, but he's joining us on a free transfer in a year's time. So a little while to wait for that one. Jimmy Morrison is joining us from Cliftonville. He is going to join us in the summer. Looks like a pretty good centre-back. I think we may have already talked about him. Dessa, we've talked about. Scott Ferguson, just as a recap, bit of a punt from Aberdeen. Might have some potential, might not. Don't think about him too much. Yoon Suk, a player who we agreed to sign as part of a panic transfer when we found out we were losing Smolyo. He doesn't look that good anymore, does he? I'm hoping that potential is wrong, basically, because I signed him on the basis that he was capped under 23 level for Korea, age 16. Would he live up to the billing? I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. And then we have a few slightly different players. We'll talk about Omo Gok first. I was looking through the under 21 national teams, which is something I always recommend people do. And if you find a 15-year-old who's capped under 21 level, they're usually quite good. We've agreed to sign this guy from Alan 61. Alan 61. He's 15, plays right mid, very, very consistent performer, capped at Turkish under 21 level. There were some big teams interested in him. We've beat them all to his transfer for £30,000. Absolute bargain. And well, last but not least, I don't want to say I've raided one club, but you might remember back to a number of years ago now where we turned up at North Ferriby and stole half their first team. I feel a bit bad for Racing here because we've kind of done a number on them, I think, and signed a load of really good players. Again, similarly to Bravo, got flagged to me as players playing for Racing who are in the 3rd tier of Spain here. They were relegated from the 2nd division last year. They had some really good players, and so we've gone and snapped them up. We've got Lars Dunkler here. I don't know if that's how you say his name. He looks very good though. 16 years old, really good fullback. Not going to join us for a couple of years. In fact, he joins us in the summer. We have Oriol here again, another player from Racing. 16 years old. Looks very, very good, doesn't he now? Again, joining us next summer. Next summer is going to be an interesting time. And last but not least, we've got Eric. He doesn't have a he's just Eric. No one knows his last name. He's a man of mystery. And again, he will join us next year. Probably the pick of the bunch. A player who I'm excited about, even if he isn't the most consistent. Striker, young. Reminds me of Leighton Stewart. In fact, how does he compare to Stewart? He might even be better than him. I mean, not far off at the very least. But won't join us till he's 18. And all of those players, by the way, signed on free transfers. I'm tapping my head here as if I've pulled off some genius play. I think that business is very, very good. And in fact, when you look across all of these players, we've spent a total outlay of less than £100,000 on them. I'm very, very excited about that. Anyway, just a quick look at the league table here. We're currently in 4th. I totally forgot last episode that there is only 23 teams in the division. So as a result, there's only 44 games in the season. So we only actually have 6 games left at this point. We currently trail Northampton by 8 points. There's a very outside chance that we could turn things around. If we do have something to play for going into the tail end of the last couple of games of the year, we'll be back for a live comp. If not, playoffs tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that. That's exciting. Playoffs tomorrow. You'll love to see it. And, well, this is how everything looks right now. We're going okay. I really want to win the leasing trophy, though. We were predicted to reach the second round, or rather, that was the expectation. We've gone way above and beyond that. And let's try and take it that little bit further today. I know lots of you eagerly awaiting this game, so you're probably impatiently listening to me talk about all those young players of the future. But I do feel like it's worth talking about them. They are so, so good. And it's just an exciting time here. Anyway, in terms of general team news, Needham's away on international duty with Zimbabwe because of course he is. They've stolen our only backup left back, so Norris, please don't get injured. You'll notice that for the most part, we're at pretty much full strength with the exception of Michael Jacobs, who broke his arm and he's out for 3 to 6 weeks. So he will be back for the playoffs, but he's been missing a lot of football at this point. It's a bit of an ongoing concern. I mean, you can see this year he's had 7 injuries this year. That's I mean, not all of them particularly major, but certainly worth just flagging as a concern. Not seeing him with his banana boots in a little while. Maybe he will resurface soon. But on the whole, a very good team for today's game. We are going to go with Sayer up top. I feel like it's just worth persisting with him, giving him more opportunities. You'll notice on the bench we have got both Leighton Stewart and Mampala, Purdue, Kosic, CC, Rush and Gannon back from injury finally, also on the bench. And, well, the team kind of picks itself. Hugo, looking for a big performance. Club record transfer, record earner as well at the club on £7,000 a week. Keep an eye on the number 49 at the centre-back. That's not... Number 49 for centre-backs is not going to catch on, is it? This is the issue when you make signings in January and you can't reassign numbers. You end up with players numbered 50, and not ironically either. It's just a case of... We have quite a large team on the whole. We've been rotating, youngsters in and out. And, well, for better or for worse, some players just have to have the number 50. Anyway, we're playing here at Wembley. As you can see, it's not packed. I mean, that is it's very empty, isn't it? You would have thought they could have assigned all the fans to sit next to one another. Unless, and I don't want to speculate too much, unless there's some kind of illness going around and they all have to sit separately. Who knows? Anyway, we need to defend this corner here early on. This is a cup final. This is big. I know I joke about this tournament. I call it Mickey Mouse. Make no mistake, I want to win every cup final we get to. And, well, Shuttleworth, the Bolton boy, he wants to do it as well. And Kololo threads it through, or rather tries to. I don't know if you can call that threading the ball through. It was kind of brutally chipped. Didn't find his man. And, well, Andre Dazelle wide to DKM. Through to Sayer. Finish that. Keeper stops it. Sayer as well, keeping it from going for a corner. First chance going our way. Not having, a ton more possession than them, but you would say that we are on top right now. And, well, it's Andre Dazelle to whip it in. Back post, headed away only as far as Embleton. On a booking, needs to make sure he's a good boy today. Don't get sent off is basically what I'm saying. Dinks it wide. DKM. I think he tried to shield the ball there. It wasn't successful, whatever it was he tried. And, well, Norris is there to break down the play. Gives it to Andre Dazelle, who, since he's been back from injury, folks, he has been the player of the year for me. It really has been incredible. His average ratings, I think, are the best in the league. He has assisted and scored goal after goal this year. His impact can't be understated. So we have an effort there that's blocked away. That was a really good chance. Perhaps the first clear-cut chance of the game, although it falls to Nkololo, who smashes it just wide of the mark. 25 minutes are gone, and I don't want to say we've got Colchester on the ropes, but I think, you know, their corner is having stern words right now. But, I mean, we've given away a penalty. This is what I get for saying we're on top. Smolyo, please. I know that we're not going to be able to enjoy you for many more games after this. Be a hero. He's not a hero. Spyro scored. I'm not sure if it's the dragon or a different kind of Spyro. It's probably Spyro, the French Spyro, as I believe he's known. But yes, unfortunately, Smolyo, I mean, he's gone the right way, but he's not really dived into the bottom corner. Not a particularly good save attempt. And we need to show character now. We need to show the kind of persistence that Brendan Rodgers would admire. And it looks like at half-time, and indeed it is going to be at half-time, we're a goal down. Boys, show me something else. I'm tempted to bring on Leighton Stewart for Sia. I'm doing it. I'm not hanging around today, folks. We're going to bring in the Townlaw legend. A player made for the big game, allegedly. And Kololo whips it in. Back post, I mean, there he is. I'm a tactical genius, even though it was a straight sub. Leighton. 15th goal of the year. Benny's ball into the box was great. Who was meant to be marking Leighton here? Because whoever it was, they've not defended it. I feel like between the two players in the middle for Colchester, one of them does have to head it away, but it's fallen to the feet of Stewart, and you can't let him do that. Immediate impact on off the bench. And, 13 minutes left already. Time trickling away quick here. They have a corner now. Can we be good defensively? They were not. Can we show them how to defend this kind of situation? Ball played inside. I'm a little bit nervous. Hugo gets it away just about as far as Hughes, who could get caught out in possession here. We're pressing high and pressing hard. Ball finds its way to Shuttleworth. Benny with the back heel. Benny is playing well, isn't he, at centre attacking mid. Falls to Stewart again. Got the pace, got the legs, not got the finish. Gives it straight to Otley. Oh, I had big expectations. Great expectations, you could say. And, well, that was a short highlight. Embleton scored, everyone. I was worried he was going to get sent off. He's done better than that. Another set piece for us. Shuttleworth, with that wand of a foot, puts it in. Colchester unable to deal with the ball in the air. I mean, I don't think there was any chance of it being offside. You can see there, comfortably on. We've got one hand on the cup, and I don't want to let it go now. I've talked about it before, but I've been to an EFL trophy final. I went and saw Shrewsbury take on Lincoln City, and Lincoln won it on that occasion. I was in the Lincoln end. We scored again. It's another set piece. Dazell's got it. The game can't even keep up. We're being told about Hugo's booking and their sub. It doesn't matter. We've got the goal. It's 3-1. Another set piece. Another Shuttleworth assist. Look at the curve on that ball. Dazell, I'm not sure what he's done there. It's an unorthodox finish. But we find the back of the net, and their goalkeeper's on a 4.6. So I don't want to point fingers at anyone. I think Otley might be able to take the blame here, but we're going to get the result. I'm going to bring in Mampala. Let's just throw him on the pitch. Is there anyone else I want to throw on sentimentally? You know what, Rush, get on the pitch. I don't know if they're going to have time to be subbed on. They were subbed on. They get to celebrate. The confetti falls. And that's 2 games won in a row at Wembley. The playoff final to get to League 2 and now the EFL trophy. We're building up some fond memories here, aren't we? Our players, I mean, when you look at our team, how many players played in that game before? I guess DKM played in it for sure. Mampala and Stewart definitely played in it. Norris, I'm pretty sure, played in it as well. There's players who have experienced many a good day at Wembley here playing for Townlaw, and that is another one for the collection. Do we get good prize money for this competition? I probably should have checked that going into it. £122,000. I mean, we'll take that. We lift the trophy. We put ourselves into the history books. Shuttleworth, 2 assists to his name. Praise his recent form. He's been an absolute god. Not bad for a player with 13 free kick taking and 11 crossing. You can see 5 assists in 22 games in the league. He got 2 assists in 1 game there. And we bring that glory to Townlaw. Pre-season odds of 28-1. I hope a fan puts some money on that. 31 players get a trophy or a medal. The youngest player, Colin Henderson, I've not talked nearly enough about Colin. I've talked about some other young prospects. Before we go, let's discuss this guy. We had an attacking midfielder crisis come January. I promoted him from the under-21s, where he was playing in the under-23s, rather, and the under-18s, playing in both teams. I needed a wide attacking mid option. He is born and raised in Towlaw. Was part of our intake last year, actually. So we've had a good few intakes with some really good high potential players. Not the craziest player by any means. Low determination isn't great. But he gets a winner medal as a hometown hero, aged only 17. And that, for me, is something to be proud of. And when you look at the list of teams who have previously won this competition, one of those teams is not like the others. To be honest, I'm most happy that we beat 223 teams on the way to it, because I don't really like the idea of under 23 teams taking part in the EFL trophy. But we get the win. We give, I mean, that's far too much money to be paying our players for that, but I guess we'll deal with it. You can see here, biggest overachievers were ourselves. And, Manchester United under 23s, who, if I'm not mistaken, we beat in the group stage, the big disappointment. But anyway, in terms of when we'll be back next time, I'm looking ahead thinking, we'll come maybe back for the Hull game if there's something to play for. If not, it will be the playoffs. Of course, we've got a board takeover in progress. Let's hope that doesn't lead to anything, although it could. I don't want to guess one way or the other. I hope Alexander isn't leaving us, but we'll brace ourselves. We'll see what happens. Maybe I need to get an intro ready. Maybe I don't. I guess we'll find out next time. But anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope it was good to see a big run through of some of the players we've got coming in and out. I appreciate for some of you guys, you like to see me get straight into the matches every episode. But I feel like Football Manager is a game where you spend just a fraction of your time actually in the matches. So much of it's the planning that goes into it, and that's what I accredit a lot of my success to. I don't feel like I'm the best tactical genius at changing things on the fly. I feel like a lot of my strength comes down to team building, being able to, find good players and, find a good starting formation, I guess, and manage expectations and players off the pitch. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough today. Next episode, big games, probably, barring a complete capitulation. We'll be back for the playoffs, so hopefully I see you guys then. Thank you for your ongoing support, as I already said. Again, just as a little reminder, the Patreon's linked down below. If you do want to support, massively appreciated. And of course, a massive thank you to all of those people who do already support me over there. You're now going to see your name in the credits. I'll see you guys all again very soon. It's me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.